I've seen some of these old sketch comedy shows that came even before Saturday Night Live, even though I'm not much of into that, but since before SCTV or other types of comedies, even Hee Haw, there was this. And I'm about to revisit this and see if this will do better than my original TV log of this. So, now from beautiful downtown Burbank, NBC, the Nice But Crazy Network presents Rowan and Martin's Laughing! And I'm about to revisit it in this TV log right now. This is our revisited TV log from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Newell, the Big D to you. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Back again with another TV log, but this time it's a revisited one. Now, one of my earliest TV logs was this sketch comedy show right here, and of course it didn't do so great, but I'm going to try again and give you my thoughts on this in case nobody has ever made up for lost time in seeing this. Anyway, it has been over for 55 years since this duo came onto the screen and what have you. Originally started out as a special, but soon got picked up as a big series, and is one of the most craziest, zaniest sketch comedy shows you could ever imagine. Before Saturday Night Live, before SCTV, or any other type of comedy show, there was Rowan and Martin's Laughing. Rowan and Martin's Laughing was a sketch comedy show that originally premiered on NBC in September of 1967 as a special. It did pretty well that early the following year of January of 68, it was picked up as a full series. Anyway, now often this show is simply referred to as Laughing. It was hosted by funny men Dan Rowan and Dick Martin. Now, as I mentioned, it aired as a one-time special on September 9th, 1967, and was a success that it was brought back as a series early the following year on January 22nd, replacing the hit series The Man from U.N.C.L.E. on Mondays, and became the most popular TV show in the U.S. in no time. Now then, the title of the show was a play on the 1960s hippie culture love-ins or the counterculture be-ins, terms derived from the sit-ins common in protests associated with civil rights and anti-war demonstrations of the time. The show was originally produced by George Schlatter and Friendly Productions along with Romart, which I'm pretty sure was a company that was formed by the two main stars. I could be wrong though. Anyway, in a pilot episode, Dan Rowan explained the show's approach. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to television's first Laugh-In. Now, for the past few years, we have all been hearing an awful lot about the various ends. There have been be-ins, love-ins, and sleep-ins. This is a laugh-in, and a laugh-in is a frame of mind. For the next hour, we would just like you to sit back and laugh and forget about the other ends. The good-natured, lighthearted, and informal disposition of the show was thereby established. Laugh-In had its roots in the humor of vaudeville and burlesque, well, but its most direct influences were Olson and Johnson's comedies, such as the freeform Broadway revue Hell's a Poppin', the innovative television works of Murray Kovacs, and the topical TV satire That Was the Week That Was. The show was characterized by a rapid-fire series of gags and sketches, many of which were politically charged or contained sexual innuendo. The co-hosts continued the exasperated straight man, which was Rowan, and dumb guy, which was Martin, act, which they had established as nightclub comics. The show featured Gary Owens, who had recently voiced Hanna-Barbera's Space Ghost as well as the underrated 60s animated character Roger Ramjet as the on-screen announcer. Plus, an ensemble cast which included Ruth Buzzi, who was part of the ensemble throughout the show's 6-year run. Others who appeared in the at least 3 seasons included Judy Carne, Henry Gibson, Goldie Hawn, Arte Johnson, Anne Worley, Alan Sues, Lily Tomlin, Dennis Allen, and Richard Dawson. Anyway, this show was absolutely crazy and what have you. Now, it was designed to be very lightly structured and consisted mainly of short comedic sketches. Some of these would reappear multiple times throughout an episode with variations on a theme, while others involved reoccurring characters created by the cast, and others, cast members and guest stars would simply appear as themselves, delivering jokes or reacting to a previous sketch. In addition to the announced guest star or stars of the evening, some recurring guest stars would appear unannounced multiple times through a season, which was easy to accomplish given the show's non-linear taping sessions. A trademark of the series was its even shorter blackout sketches, often involving rapid fire cuts between two or more scenes or camera angles, set to a 6-note musical sting or at times an elongated 16-note version. These were used as transitions into and out of commercials, among other places. Now, the show started out with a batch of sketches leading to Mr. Owen's introduction segment, in which the cast and announced guest stars would appear behind open doors of the show's iconic psychedelically painted joke wall, which mostly would be used at the end credits of the show. Owens would also insert offbeat lines in his monotone deadpan style in the introductions and occasionally throughout the episode, generally facing a microphone to his side with one hand cupped to his ear. Owen's character loosened up and became hipper in later seasons. After more short sketches leading into and out of the first commercial break, Rowan and Martin would walk in front of the show's home base set to introduce the show and have a dialogue, generally consisting of Martin frustrating Rowan by derailing his attempt to do a proper introduction via misunderstandings and digressions. Eventually, they would end the introduction and invite the audience to the cocktail party, which that started off most of the show and what have you. Yes, I always like how one calls out, "You're all invited. Come on," and then off we go. This live to tape segment comprised all cast members and occasional surprise celebrities dancing before a 1960s mod party backdrop, delivering one and two line jokes interpreted with a few bars of dance music. Now, this was similar in format to the word dance segments of a Thurber Carnival and would later be imitated on The Muppet Show. That also kind of was like a precursor to Pickin' and Grinnin' for Hee Haw, which would come out the following year after this. Another weekly segment was Laughing Looks at the News, which began with the female cast member singing the segment's opening theme in a different costume set piece each week, often with the help of the guest star. The news varied in presentation over the years, but in the earlier seasons started with Martin reading the news of the present. As Rowan introduces him, and now here with the news of the past, or should I say the present? Yeah, was it the present or was it? Oh no, I'm sorry, I got. And now with the news of the present, here's the man to whom the news wouldn't be the news without the news. Here's Sticky, and here he comes. Now he acts. Now at the end of his bit, Martin always acts. I think he's trying to hit a golf ball or something. Send it to Goldie Hawn, and boy, she gets kind of a little clueless later on. And then Rowan provides the news of the future. And sketches depicting news of the past. Plus, starting with in season 2, Alan Sues appears as Big Al and will provide a typically clueless sports report. Featurette. Ding. Oh, I just love that bell. Next would be Mod World, a group of sketches introduced by Rowan Martin that fit into an announced theme. This segment is notable for being intersper inter interspec I'm sorry if I mispronounced the word. We filmed clips of some of the female cast members, most frequently Carne and Hawn, performing go-go dancing in bikinis to the segment's burlesque-inspired theme, with the camera periodically zooming into jokes or images that had been drawn onto their bodies. The segment also usually included an additional musical number based on the topic, performed by cast members at the beginning and the end of the segment, as well as inshore bridges between sketches. At the end of every show, after the final dialogue, Rowan turned to his co-host and "Say good night, Dick." To which Martin replied, "Good night, Dick," and leading into the final joke wall segment. Yep, in which the cast popped out their doors and told jokes to the camera, each other or Rowan Martin, who stood in front. This would lead into and continue under the closing credits. One final batch of skits included a closing appearance from Owens, and often an appearance from Arte Johnson's character, a German soldier named Wolfgang, saying, "Very interesting," brought the episode to a conclusion. Other segments and recurring characters listed below would come and go throughout the years. At the end of some of these episodes, we just hear recurring clapping all the way through until it starts fading out. This was just so crazy and what have you. After a total of 6 seasons with and a total of 140 episodes produced and aired, the show ended in March of 1973. There were tons of lots of writers for the show, including producer George Schlatter, Larry Hulvis, who was also one of the few people who appeared on the show. Let's see, Jack Hanrahan, Kozla Johnson, who's actually Arte Johnson's twin brother. Both those guys will actually go on to work, will be writers for various shows from Filmation, as a matter of fact, and others. Let's see, Jack Mendelson and Jim Mulligan. I do believe I know those names. Lorne Michaels, who long before he became the producer of Saturday Night Live. Oh, the list goes on. Anyway, now Ian Bernard was the musical director for the show, and he wrote the opening theme music called Inquisitive Tango, which was used in the first season, again permanently from season 4. Plus the infamous "What's the News Across the Nation" number, as that's how the news thing goes. He wrote all the musical play-ons that introduced comedy sketches like Lily Tomlin's character Edith Ann, the little girl who sat in a rocking chair, and Arte Johnson's old main character Tyrone, who always got hit with a purse, courtesy of Ruth Buzzi's character Glass. Yeah, and he's this old dude. He's like, would you like to go to a dance sometime? And it just keeps everything until he's all knocked out. Yeah, really something. Now, there actually would be 2 Laughing albums. The first album would be released on Epic Records, and then later on would be another one released on Reprise Records. Here's some other sketches that were shown laughing. There was "Suck It to Me." Yes, which Judy Carne, who of course was after she was formerly married to the late great Burt Reynolds, was often tricked into saying the phrase, "It may be rice wine to you, but it's sake to me," which invariably results in her or other cast members falling through a trapdoor, being doused with water, or playfully assaulted in various other manners. Yeah, it's like, "And now, folks, it's sake to me time." Yeah. The phrase was also uttered by many of the guest stars, cameos, most notably President Nixon, though they were almost never subjected to the same treatment as Carne was. Let's see, the Farkle family that was introduced in the third this season. A couple with numerous children, all of whom had bright red hair and large freckles similar to their good friend, trusted neighbor, Ferd Burfall. The sketch employed diversion humor and the writing paying more attention to the lines said by each player using alliterative tongue twisters. That's a fine looking Farkle flinger you found there, Frank. Dan Rowan played the far Frank the third. Now, originally, his wife Fanny was originally played by Joanne Worley, then Barbara Sharma and Patty Deutsch. Goldie Hawn played Sparkle Farkle. Arte Johnson played Frank Farkle the Fourth, and Ruth Buzzi played Flicker Farkle when I was saying "Hi." A very high pitched voice. And two of the children were twins named Simon and Garfarkle, played by cast members of different races. Teresa Graves and Pamela Rogers in the third season, Johnny Brown and Dennis Allen in the fourth season. By the final season, the Farkle offspring had dwindled to only two children, played by Buzzy and the puppet known as Lester. Yeah, really something. There was Here Comes the Judge, originally portrayed by British comic Ronnie Maud Ruxby. Yeah. Guest stars Flip Wilson, who would later actually get his own hit show on NBC, or Sammy Davis Jr. would introduce a sketch saying, "Here come the judge, here come the judge." Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Let's see. There was also New Talent Time, also called Discovery of the Week in later seasons, that had various oddball acts. The most notable of these acts would be Tiny Tim, who, of course, you would know that guy for his falsetto voice and singing Tiptoe Through the Tulips. Yep. He would make guest appearances in later runs. And some of the guests would actually make special appearances, including Paul Gilbert, who was the adopted father of actress Melissa Gilbert. Let's see, Paul Winchell, you know him, ventriloquist and voice actor behind Dick Dastardly, Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, and other characters. Appeared three times as Lucky Pierre, whose puppets would fall apart or die on him. Arte Johnson played Pyotr Rosmenko, looking for big American breaks, singing gibberish in a Russian accent. Yeah. Let's see. There was also the Flying Fickle Finger of Fate Award, which sardonically recognized actual dubious achievements by public individuals or institutions, the most frequent recipients being members or branches of the government. It was the trophy was a gilded left hand mounted on a trophy base with its extended index finger adorned with two small wings. Then, of course, there was its counterpart, the Wonderful World of Whoopee Award. Now, described by Rowan as a citation for the little man who manages to outfight or outfox the bureaucracy. I mean, bu- yeah, bureaucracy. I'm sorry again, I mispronounced it. The statue was similar to the finger of fate, only it was a right hand without the wings on an index finger, point straight up, and with a hidden mechanism that, when activated, waved the finger in a circular motion. Gee whiz. Yeah, they were really something. Let's see. Many episodes had a recurring short wordless gag in which an actor repeatedly tried to accomplish some simple task like entering an elevator, opening a window or door, watering a plant, which would fail each time in a different surprising way. Another one would include one or more actors walking around the street in a jerky fashion using stop motion or low shutter speed filming, holding and turning a bare steering wheel as if they were driving a car or actually were a car, with various sound effects to simulate honking, backups, collisions with each other, stuff like that. In the sixth season, there was a little something called Questions from the Audience or Dick's Costumes. Dan would ask the audience if anybody had any questions about the show or otherwise. As he was doing so, in which nobody in the audience ever spoke up, Dick would come out wearing some kind of costume, which Rowan would ask about, leading to a humorous exchange on the costume subject matter. Whew. Yeah, really something, what have you. Let's see. Now, other characters that there were many other characters that some of the characters played and what have you. I talked about Arte Johnson and Ruth Buzzi. I think a real funny character that well, Gladys was one of Buzzy's best characters. Then there was Henry Gibson. I think one of his he played like the parson and also the poet who held an oversized flower and nervously read offbeat poems. His stage name was a play on the name of playwright Henrik Ibsen. Yeah, Henrik Ibsen. Okay? Yes. See, and Goldie Hawn, she was absolutely zany and what have you. Lily Tomlin was introduced in the fourth season. Well, aside from playing Edith Ann, she always ends her short monologues like, and that's the truth, and blows a raspberry to us and what have you. But her best known was Ernestine. Yeah, who was an obnoxious telephone operator and what have you. And then she's like, one ringy dingy, two ringy dings. Like, gracious afternoon. Is this to whom the part of the party I am speaking to? Yeah, really funny. Play lots of other characters. Judy Carne got to do some characters. I think aside from me and the Socket to Me girl, I liked her as the talking Judy doll. Usually played by Arte Johnson. He's like, hello, I'm your Judy doll. I'm sorry if I can't do it the way she says. Yeah, she says two different things, but here's an example of what she says last. You touched my little body, and I hit you, and pow! Woo! Um, Joanne Worley's really funny. Yeah, she's best remembered for her mock outrage at chicken jokes and her mulling outcry of boring. At the cocktail party, she would talk about her never seen married boyfriend or lover, Boris. Alan Sues, he's good as Big Al. Let's see. And Uncle Al, the kitty's pal, who a short tempered host of a children's show, really funny. Oh, yeah, we also had Pamela Rogers, Jeremy Lloyd, who of course would later go on to create the hit Brick Comes, Are You Being Served? And Allo Allo. Let's see. What else? Who else was on here? Oh, see, Dan Allen, Barbara Sharma, Johnny Brown, he was on there. Ah, and Larry Hovis, as I mentioned, Richard Dawson, and even Dave Madden before he even started on the Partridge Family. But there was lots of other things as well. So anyway, Laugh-In had a ton of fun phrases. Even some, there was also some funny phrases. Dick Martin says, "You bet your sweet bippy," and also he says, "Look that up in your funkin' wagnalls." It's a lesser known set of reference books whose phonetically funny name helped both this along with the Tonight Show with starring Johnny Carson to poke fun at NBC censors. And of course, we also have Joanne Worley's "Was that another chicken joke?" Yeah, and of course, Ernestine's little bit. And Socket to Me, of course, which a fun fact, Reprise Records actually released that as an actual single, which Carne appeared on. Well, she actually did that. Oh, during its run, Laugh-In got a lot of stuff in Miami. There was even restaurants, even trading cards, a magazine. There was a short-lived daytime show Gary Owens hosted called Layers to Laugh In. There was a horror film spoof film called The Maltese Bippy, released by MGM, but it didn't do so well and what have you. Oh well. Now, of course, the show has been released on physical media, first by Rhino, and then by Time Life. You could probably get it from now for some DVD releases, you can get them for maybe about less than $100 or maybe over $100, depending on where you get it from. Now, all 6 seasons and the complete series is available. If you cannot afford it on physical media, no problem. You can find the full series available on various services, including YouTube, which also has a Rowan Martin's. There's a Rowan Martin's Laughing YouTube channel. The series can also be available on Prime. Prime Video did have it, but I think it's with Freevee now. You can also find the series on Tubi, Crackle, and the Roku channel. Yes. Well, not the Roku channel, but on Roku. And I think you get what I'm saying. Anyway, it started pretty decent enough. It was the number one show for during its second and third seasons, but it kind of dropped a bit in the fourth season and going and falling on the top 20 to in the fifth season, but took a hard hit in the final season though. In 77, they had released a series of specials simply known as Laughing with a new cast. But they just didn't do so well and what have you. They've tried many others and failed, though, until 2019, and Netflix produced a special tribute special to the original series called Still Laughing, the Star Celebrate. I've seen that special, and it was pretty good. Lily Tomlin, Ruth Buzzi, and Anne Worley, who are the only among the few surviving cast members, were there. It's a shame Goldie Hawn wasn't there. Oh well. Still, I gotta give this credit though. It went on to win various Emmys and what have you, plus a couple of Golden Globes and other things. Now then, now that that's all the way, let's see if I can give you a look at some stuff from this show. Here's a look at the group. This was them from the second season of the show, which that of course was one of my favorites. I liked the first season and the third season. The rest of the series was pretty good as well. Here's a shot of Arte Johnson as Wolfgang. Here's a look at the Farkle family. This is from the later run, however. Well, it's hard to find more from the segment though. But if you give this show a shot, this is a show I would recommend you give a watch and what have you. I think you'll really like it. Like I said, you can find Laugh-In on various on physical media. And if you can't afford it, then no problem. You can find the full series available on YouTube for free with ads, which you can also you can also check out clips on the Rowan Martin's Laughing YouTube channel if you wish before you watch these episodes, just in case you might want to see some fun stuff like the jokes, the news of the past, present, future, and the cocktail parties and other things. You can also find the full series on Amazon Prime Video, which you will probably find now on Freevee. You can also find the series on Tubi, Crackle, and Roku. So this show is very easy to find and what have you. So give this show a watch. I think you'll get a lot of good laughs from it. So anyway, what did you think of Rowan Martin's Laughing? I've seen all 6 seasons. They are good. Excuse me. So, what did you think of the show? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And continue to help support my channel by checking out these great videos I do for you. And, well, continue to be supportive. You know what I'm saying by viewing them. Well, you get the message. Anyway, join me next time when I bring to you a review of The Girl Next Door from 2004. So if you like this, consider checking out some of these other fun-filled, crazy bits and what have you. In the upper left-hand corner is my my previous my previous TV log, and it's on SCTV or Second CTV to you, your name. Or if you'd like some comedy from another group of characters, maybe from Saturday Night Live, you can check out my review of Wayne's World in the upper right hand corner. Or if you would like, which had Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, or you can check out my review for this other film with the zany Mike Myers as the British secret agent Austin Powers in Goldmember. Now, I actually laughing did have a few British comedians on there, you know. But anyway, and the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the TV log. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.